The history of the yellowfin tuna is a tale woven into the complex tapestry of marine ecosystems, human ingenuity, and the fragile balance between nature and commerce. Long before humans ever cast a line into the vast, endless oceans, the yellowfin tuna thrived in the warm, tropical waters of the world's seas. Known for its striking yellow fins, a feature that gave the fish its name, it was an inhabitant of the blue expanses, far from the shorelines where human life existed. Yellowfin tuna, scientifically known as Thunus albices, are part of the Thunidae family, a lineage that traces back to millions of years. This species has evolved to become one of the fastest and most agile fish in the ocean, able to reach speeds up to 75 km per hour. They glide through the water with the grace and power of an ancient predator, their streamlined bodies built for hunting schools of smaller fish and squid. As one of the largest tuna species, they can grow up to 2.5 meters long and weigh up to 200 kilograms, a remarkable feat for a creature living in the open ocean. The first humans to encounter these magnificent fish likely did so in the distant past, when the ancient Polynesians sailed across the Pacific, navigating vast distances using only the stars. Tuna were among the many fish they encountered, and yellowfin, with its speed and strength, became a prized catch. These early sailors understood the rhythms of the sea, recognizing the migratory patterns of the fish. In these cultures, tuna fishing became both a livelihood and a ceremonial act. The fish was not just food, it was a symbol of the sea's bounty, a link to the divine, and a connection to the distant, unknown places. As time progressed, human influence over the oceans grew. Fishing technologies advanced, with the development of nets, boats, and later, mechanized vessels that allow people to venture farther and deeper into the sea. In the early days, however, tuna were caught mostly for local consumption, with few methods to preserve them for long journeys. This kept the interaction between humans and yellowfin tuna relatively balanced, with sustainable practices ensuring the fish remained abundant. The first real shift in the history of the yellowfin tuna came with the advent of industrial fishing in the 19th and 20th centuries. As global trade routes expanded and refrigeration allowed for long-distance transportation, tuna, along with other fish species, became more accessible to people all over the world. The demand for tuna, especially yellowfin, grew exponentially, driven by the rise of canning technology and the increasing popularity of tuna as a protein source in diets worldwide. By the mid-20th century, yellowfin tuna had become a commodity, its population numbers slowly starting to dwindle due to overfishing. In the years that followed, as fleets of fishing boats grew larger and more efficient, the impact on tuna populations became undeniable. In some areas, particularly in the waters around Japan and the Pacific Islands, the demand for yellowfin tuna reached a fever pitch. The fish, once an abundant resource, began to feel the strain of human intervention. It was during this period that commercial fisheries began to recognize the need for regulation. Overfishing was becoming a significant issue, threatening the very sustainability of the yellowfin tuna as a species. This led to the formation of international organizations aimed at managing tuna fisheries. The International Commission for the Conservation of Atlantic Tunas, ICCAT, formed in 1969, was one of the first to address the issue on a global scale. It set quotas and limits for tuna catches to prevent the species from being fished to extinction. However, the process was far from perfect. Illegal, unreported, and unregulated IUU fishing continued to plague the industry, undermining conservation efforts. In the following decades, advancements in technology further complicated the issue. GPS systems, sonar equipment, and large-scale fishing operations made it easier than ever to find and capture yellowfin tuna. The scale of fishing expeditions became more industrialized, with massive purse seine nets and long lines capable of catching thousands of fish in a single haul. This shift marked a turning point, as tuna populations were pushed closer to the brink of collapse. However, the story of the yellowfin tuna is not one of doom. Throughout the years, environmental and conservation groups began to advocate for more responsible fishing practices, pushing for sustainable management of the ocean's resources. The role of eco-labeling, such as the Marine Stewardship Council's certification program, became increasingly important. These labels, awarded to fisheries that adhered to sustainable practices, allowed consumers to make more informed choices about the tuna they purchased, adding pressure on industries to adopt more responsible methods. As the 21st century unfolded, the issue of overfishing continued to be a significant challenge. But there was a growing recognition that collaboration was necessary to address the crisis. Nations, scientists, conservationists, and the fishing industry began to work together more closely. The Western and Central Pacific Fisheries Commission, WCPFC, was one of the organizations that took a significant step toward better managing tuna populations, particularly in the Pacific, where much of the world's yellowfin tuna is caught. In the face of these challenges, the yellowfin tuna has managed to maintain its place in the ocean's delicate balance. Thanks to growing awareness and better management practices, some tuna populations have started to recover. Fishing methods such as pole and line fishing, which have less environmental impact than other techniques, gained popularity in response to consumer demand for more sustainable practices. Countries and organizations have increasingly prioritized the health of tuna populations, seeing the long-term value of conservation for both the ecosystem and the global economy. Today, yellowfin tuna continues to be a critical species in the global seafood industry. It is enjoyed in countless cuisines around the world, from sushi and sashimi in Japan to grilled steaks in the Mediterranean. But behind every tuna caught, there is a complicated web of international agreements, regulations, and environmental concerns. The future of the yellowfin tuna, much like the oceans themselves, is uncertain. However, with continued efforts to balance the needs of the environment with those of the people who rely on the ocean's resources, there is hope for the species to thrive for generations to come. The story of the yellowfin tuna is a reflection of humanity's relationship with nature, one that is marked by periods of exploitation and conservation, a delicate dance between taking and giving back. It is a reminder that the oceans, though vast, are finite, and the creatures within them, like the yellowfin tuna, are part of a delicate, interconnected system that requires our stewardship. As we look to the future, the challenge will be to continue this balance, ensuring that the yellowfin tuna, with its swift grace and vibrant fins, remains a fixture of the seas, not just a memory of what once was. If you enjoyed this documentary, give it a like, share it with someone who loves endangered animals, and subscribe our channel Wild Hope for more interesting content. Thank you.